humanity survived. Our ancestors have destroyed the world, and we had to pay the price. With over 100 years without sunlight. But we have prepared ourselves for our chance to make things right. They stole from us a life of happiness. Still, we will make the best of it. Even though Mother Earth is grim and tainted, we have managed to survive. And we will keep surviving.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Endzone, a world apart. That's a pretty cool video. This is a wonderful post-apocalyptic survival city builder where we start a new civilization with a group of survivors. Yeah, you've heard the story before. This has been something that's not new. We've done Surviving the Aftermath, we've had Surviving Mars, we've done city builders a lot here, but this one looks like it's got enough different about it that I wanna explore it a little bit. Now, this is early access. It's very, very early. It came out as of today with me recording it. I want to give also another special shout out to Gently Mad Studios for sending me a copy to try out for you guys. So I've briefly gone through the tutorial, and we're gonna go ahead and get started in this madness and see what we have in store for us. Settlement name, we can pretty much make it anything we want. We'll go with Ecstasy. Yeah, that sounds good. Ecstasy. Number of settlers. I assume that starting with less people is kind of hard, and then starting with a lot of people is maybe easier. I assume. I don't know. We'll go with medium. Tools. You can either do metal tools, scrap tools, or none. Not sure. The tools in which the first settlers are equipped with. Let's say they scrapped together their own makeshift tools. They didn't really have full-on professional tools, let's say. Protective clothing, you know what? They got scarves. Yeah, some neck scarves. I think that sounds appropriate. And you can also give them activated carbon masks and full-on radiation suits. We'll go with neck scarf. That sounds like it's not necessarily the hardest. I guess none would be the hardest, but it's pretty good. Protective clothing, which the first settlers are equipped with, is in stock in the town in the beginning. Okay, so worst protective clothing increases the difficulty. Yep. Distance to water. Short, medium, far away. I don't know. I feel like if you're going to start your civilization, you're probably going to start close to water. So we'll go ahead and say short. Okay. Map for sharing. If I want to get something, I guess, that someone shared with me, I can paste a code here and apply it, and it'll apply those settings. That's pretty cool. I'm not going to worry about that, though. We're just going to hit a random map, see, maybe like that. And then map size, large, absolutely. Number of mountains, medium. Lakes, medium. Forest, medium. Ruins, medium. It all sounds good to me. All right. Also, I just want to say, this soundtrack is bitchin'. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Very cool job on the music. Love it. Very much appreciate it. All right, let's get started with this. So we've done post-apocalyptic survival games before, like I said, and you're gonna notice a lot of similarities between this one and Surviving the Aftermath, for example. But this one has so much character that differentiates it. It's the character that differentiates it. Let me show you. It says a new beginning. This looks like a good place to settle. You know what we've learned in the end zone. Basic needs to come first and foremost. We have to build food, water, shelter, blah, 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 blah. All right, let's pause the game really quick. I need to go over some things, okay? First off, love how detailed the map is, and there's a lot of stuff on the map. With Surviving the Aftermath, you had to zoom out and go to like this map view, and your guys would scavenge around the map. In this one, all that stuff is just in the map itself. It's all here, right? You got little, like, there's an end zone over here, I guess, with a bit of question mark, and you can explore this if you want to. Looks like there's a bit of a bunker over there. Ooh, cool. We can come over here. We've got these big old wind turbines we can scavenge from. All sorts of stuff. There's this big old, like, parking lot home store. My home is my castle. Oh my God. So we can go over to all these places and just see what's up and have people actually walk over there. We can move our settlers over there and tell them to go over here. Look at this, a nuclear power plant. Oh my God. The detail is super cool, you know? Like, I could look at this stuff forever. I really could. Okay, a little bit of a tour on the UI, right? Up at the top, you can go through a survival guide. You can see a list of all the different things. I admit I have not read all of these things, so I may ask questions that this answers, but that's okay. It's a part of my experience. I like to just dive right in, okay? I have, like I said, gone through the brief tutorial, but that's it. All right, there's a game log, shows you all the things that have happened, why people have died, tools. We'll probably be looking at the show or hide deaths. We'll probably be doing that a lot. Yeah, let's just make sure everything's on there. Notifications. If there's anything important happening, it appears in here. You'll get a little blip in the top. If there's any tasks that are existing, sometimes random events / tasks will show up. If you complete them within the time limit, you'll get a bonus for something. Maybe food, water, tools, whatever, right? Okay, we have water, food, self-explanatory. Those are pretty much every game. We have wood, scrap, which we can just kind of turn scrap into other materials if we want to, or use it directly, as we will be doing in the beginning of the game. You can get tools, and you have to create tools. There are scrap tools and metal tools. Obviously, metal tools will last longer, probably be useful longer, maybe they're more effective, etc. You have radiation protection. Keeps your settlers healthy by shielding them against radiation from the surrounding environment when they move around. Right now, we just have 15 neck scarves. But if we get masks or radiation suits, that'll of course help them even more. Medication. You can get herbs or make full-on medicine. We'll look at that later. We have cloth, basic supply that we'd use to turn into other things. Same thing with metal, plastic, electronics, and charcoal. Okay, so that's the top. We currently have 10 adults, 5 children. They're at full health. They're at confidence, right? This is happiness or confidence. How confident are they in their survival, okay? And then you have radiation of all settlers. Now, over here on the right, we have the mini-map. As we move around, zoom in, it also does the same. You can also actually click on the mini-map anywhere you want to go. And if you see something interesting, like this building right here, storage depot, want to know what it is? Want to save it for later? God, I don't remember what that is. All you have to do is come up to this little map marker button, and you can select one. I'm going to go with, like, say 3. And just like that, that spot on the map is marked with a marker. And you can click it and get right back over to it. That's super good. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and actually, you know what? Yeah, you know what? Let's just mark it. It's fine. Okay. What else do I have to show you? Well, down at the bottom, of course. Oh, you have also, you can rotate the camera in this. Thankfully, you have 360-degree view. Love it. Also, you click this button, it goes back to whatever the default camera angle was. So there you go. And then, of course, the main menu. Down at the bottom, we've got statistics, and it breaks things down as we play more. You'll see more statistics all popping up in here, which is kind of nice. Over here on the resource tab, we can see at a glance all the different resources we have in stock, how much we're producing, how much we're consuming, this season, previous seasons, all sorts of stuff, okay? It really breaks the numbers down. If you're a numbers person, you're gonna like this. It has a sort of a banished feel on how you can set up production limits and things like that. You have scrap tools. You can set up production limits, of course. So once you get to a certain limit, you don't produce it anymore. And then over here, we have 2 other very important things we're going to be using a lot. One is the professionals tab. You can actually set your settlers to specific jobs, and we'll be doing that as we go. And then you have the building and tasks over here, which of course has the list of everything that you can build. Now, so far anyway, I don't see a tech tree in this game. So for what I can tell, you're able to build everything right off the bat, provided, of course, you have the resources for it. So, okay. So let's just get started briefly. This is where we start, a bus wreck. Now we can upgrade this if we want to. It'll cost us 72 wood, 48 scrap, and it'll take 125. I think it's just time, but like it's not really seconds per se. You can speed up time and stuff, but it is what it is. So first thing we gotta do, food, water, shelter, right? Let's take a look. Where are we getting water from? Well, it seems to me this tiny little lake here is probably the best source of water we have. But wait. Is it safe to drink? I don't know. Well, you can come over here. You can take the terrestrial radiation tab overlay, click that. It'll show you where the existing radiation on the map is, as well as how extreme it is. Green is low, yellow is medium, this red is high, and if you don't have a radiation chute, you're probably gonna die, okay? So you don't wanna go in the red areas. All around the map, we have different patches of radiation. These do move around, and sometimes the entire map is covered. Isn't that nice? Yeah, because, you know, rain is a thing. Okay, speaking of rain being a thing, you can also see what the current weather is, as well as what season it is, and in advance, the weather as it will be. So it's going to rain for the next 3 days. That's great. Of course, that also means we may have a little bit of a radiation problem with that rain, but we'll deal with it as we go. So to get this, we're going to want to have a cistern. Cistern is useful. You can staff people there to gather water for your colony. And we're going to want a lot of the stuff. So I'm going to put this probably right here for now. We're probably going to want more than one, but for now, I'm going to put that there. Now, if you're building on any existing source of radiation, it will tell you that by highlighting that tile. So I know that there's radiation in just that one tile, and that's where it is. It's okay. The stuff moves around, so it's not that big of a deal. So it may not be there later, okay? Next, we're going to want something that the cistern can use to collect it from. If you hover over this, it says that a cistern collects and stores water. It requires a jetty, well, or a rainwater collector in order to function. So we're going to use a jetty here. It's probably the easiest one to do. It's a really quick thing. It's basically just a dock, and it docks out into the water, something like this. Okay, cool. Now, it's also saying right now, currently, that there's no builders available. So we're going to need to staff in a profession someone to build. In this case, I'm going to select 2 builders, so hopefully they can build them both at the same time. I'm also going to staff a few water carriers. These are people that are going to be designated to this building, and they are going to work this just getting water and making sure that we have lots of it. Is it contaminated water? Yeah, a little bit. So it's not that healthy, but you know, it's all that we have for water. We'll expand on water later. I'm going to go ahead and run the clock. You see how everybody just walks around. Love it. Again, we have 10 adults, and they can be active in professions. We also have 5 children. They can help their families transporting food and water into their homes. But that's pretty much all they do. So when we have food, they're going to transport them to their homes. But they don't have homes yet. So let's pause it really quick just so I don't run the time and make them unhappy. They're going to need homes. So we're going to go to the build menu. You can also do that by just hitting B. Come over to food, water. That's what we've been dealing with here. Now I'm going to look at housing. We have cabins, we have sturdy houses, and we have shelters. Cabins are small. They can live in there, start a family. Settlers will only move in as a family. For sturdy homes, they can live and start a family. The building has additional capacity to store water and food and can withstand sandstorms. Settlers only move in as a family. Now, I haven't actually seen all that much advantage to having a sturdy house. The settlers will pull things into their homes, but it kind of robs it from everybody else who doesn't have a sturdy home. And I don't know about problems with this, but I really don't see a huge advantage to the sturdy home. It takes a considerable amount of resources more than the cabin. And so in the beginning of the game, you're probably going to be hitting cabins. You can upgrade these buildings in place later. Just keep in mind, though, that if you try to upgrade one and then you decide, oh, I don't want to upgrade it instead, it's just going to delete it and you have to rebuild it. So keep that in mind. You have to tear one down and then rebuild it in its place. All right, so for this, let's see. I kind of want my homes over here, to be honest. But I'll have to clear out all the scrap in order to do that. But I kind of like the idea of having my homes over here. We could also do it over here and maybe have the farms and stuff over here, too. You know what, let's take a look. Where's the current radiation? All right, so I'm thinking probably let's just start the homes over here somewhere. Now, every building has this little green area in front of it where it's kind of reserving it, but it's kind of meant for a path. So we can kind of put it over here and maybe there, and then we'll flip one around, go there. We'll flip this around. We'll put it there. Let's just skip one. Now, here, and then we'll come over and do... I think I like this, These 6 houses right there. So those will be our 6 houses that we're going to set up for these guys. Now, you're going to see this radiation move around. It's either going to go away or it's going to grow. It kind of moves, especially when it rains. It's almost like the rain dilutes it a little bit and it kind of goes away. But then the next time it's a chemical rain, it comes back. You can see this here, unknown contamination. Build a weather station for forecasts. Sometimes the rain is not contaminated and it clears away the radiation. Other times the rain is contaminated and it makes the whole map radiation. So it's you're not going to know which one is which until you get a weather station. All right, I'm going to zoom time ahead a little bit. I'm going to let them build what they can. They're going to build the jetty, get themselves out. Currently, this area is not completely contaminated, so we should be having somewhat clean water here. And there we go. Now, of course, they're only building really, really fast because I have the time accelerated. But as you can see, this cistern is pulling water in just from the lakes and the jetty. If we build a well or a rainwater collector, it will also, we can activate on and off those types of things too. So let's start, and let's actually build one of those. I'm gonna let's build a well. Now, in order to build a well, we're gonna need to see how like, oh my gosh, everything is so dry. We need rain bad. Good thing we're gonna have 3 days of rain here. Let's go ahead and put a well right next to this, I think. Now this is gonna be slightly in that radiation, so maybe it's best to put it over here for the time being. You know, like right on this? That's not a bad idea. Let's put it like right on that. All right, and then we're gonna want someone also to keep the well as a well keeper. So there you go. Now let's say I want these houses built. Oh my God, they're already built. You guys are fast. I was gonna say, let's say I want the houses built right now, right? I can actually take, and let's just do it anyway. We'll take one of these cabins. I wanna make the path go right here. So I think the path is gonna be like that. So we'll go one more house. No, I don't want that though. You know what? Let's bring it all the way down like that. Let's say I want them to build this right now, right? I say, oh, we got 2 things. We got a well and we got a house. Now they're going to distribute resources kind of however they can, however they want. But if I tell them to build this first by hitting build next, they will focus entirely on that well as their building project before they do everything else. So that's the one way you could prioritize things. I'm going to go into logistics right now. I'm going to grab these dirt roads. You click once, bring it to where you want. There's a tendency for me, like, I feel like I want to just click and drag, but that's not how this thing wants you to do it. So I'm going to bring, oh my gosh, I did it wrong. Well, it's a good thing I haven't built this house yet. Let's go ahead and cancel. And then we'll build the next house right here. Better. Bring that all the way over and all the way across. Now, I realize I am kind of bringing the water a little bit far away from the village here, but eventually this housing will expand this way anyway. All right, so let's let them go. I don't really need them to build that house yet. I want them to build the well. Here we go. Okay, so we have a really steady source of water now. We should be fine. Let's look at food. We can cultivate a field. We can get fishing huts, which I think I'm going to do first because we have a nice source of water here. So let's grab right about here. This scrap and stuff being in the way, it doesn't let us build. So we have to clear the scrap out of the way if I want to build differently. But it does let me build right here. So I'm going to take that. And this will allow us to get fishing huts, or to get fishermen over here. And then we can go fishing. Now this is good. Right, we just got some rain. Let's check out the ground now, and you can see that's very wet. We are ready to grow things. Good. All right, so we're gonna cultivate a field, and I'm thinking farmland. We could start it right here, but I kind of like the idea of getting our scrap yard, and it looks like it might be. You have another source of water over here too. That's not bad. It might be a good idea to get our farming going over here, though. I kind of want this. This mountain is in a kind of an inconvenient location. Kinda. You can see how wet the ground is, though. It's really nice. It's like getting soaked. All right, I'm gonna take and say we want our farms to start. We'll do one farm here. We'll do one farm. You know what? We'll just put it right next to each other. One farm there. We can make it as, we can kind of make it as big as we want within limitations. So it's got like a size requirement, but notice how this is all radiation, right? So if I want to build the farm here, if I want to have crops growing here, I'm going to have to put up with the fact that this is just, there's tons of radiation on the ground here until it goes away. And it probably will go away, but I'm not really going to build just yet. Not there anyway. I think I need to build somewhere else for the time being. So how about we also, before I get out of taken away here, let's do a forester's lodge over here so I can start getting some of these trees cut down. And I think we'll probably just do it in line with this. So let's say right about maybe here. Okay, and then we'll just build that down, and yeah, that'll be fine. That'll be good. All right, so we'll get Forester's Lodge, and then we can also get wood and stuff cut down too. So let's get a couple of people fishing, one person foresting, and I need to make, I guess I'll do it here for now. It looks like the radiation is, it's kind of moving, but it's almost like it's growing actually, so it's kind of growing. It's creeping up on us, which sucks. So I'm going to take and make another field, or make a field, because we need to get started on that right away. Let's put a field here. Let's put a field here. And we'll put another field maybe along the road here, like this. That's what we'll do for now. For the seeds, we're going to grow wheat. You can see how long it takes to grow, and then also the maximum yield you can get from it growing. So potatoes, for example, take 2.8 seasons. They'll give you 616 food. And for this size plot, if you had a bigger plot, it would give you more. So I think I'm going to go with 440 and 1.8 on the cabbage here first. This field, I think we're going to grow the little longer potatoes, get more. And then for this one here, we're going to grow wheat. And then in order to actually work these fields, we'll need people assigned to farming. So let's assign a couple of farmers. Now, the more comfortable the colonists get, the more likely they are to have children. And the progress for a child that a child has towards adulthood is displayed here when you hover over top of it. So you'll see that we have Diane here and Adam are almost adults. And when they are adults, they'll shift over into this column and we can start assigning them to professions. They'll become a regular settler. And settlers will mostly, they simply carry out really basic commands, and they move and they transport resources. They don't really do a whole lot of the profession things like making tools, farming, fishing, etc. So we're getting a lot of rain here, and it's actually kind of making the radiation go away, which I am all for, because eventually I do want my farm to be over here. Our settler that we have, not yet, sorry. I thought we would have Diane by now. Let's wait for Diane here really quick. Okay, Diane is done. So she became a settler. Settlers can also work by having these tasks. So I can say gather all resources, for example, and I can just put this right here. And whoever's just hanging around as a settler will come out over here and they'll start working here, gathering up all the resources that we have in this area. I'm actually going to take and only have one builder now. So we have 2 settlers that can go and scrap things. Now, in order to actually use scrap, they're going to take it over here for starters. This is where our initial storage capacity is. But eventually, we're going to want to turn this into stuff, like right now. So I'm going to take and go to resources and go to recycler. We're going to be able to convert the scrap into other things. So I'm going to say recycler. Let's put that. This mountain is really inconvenient. I had like an idea of how I wanted to lay this whole thing out, and that's completely ruined because of this mountain. I may actually be able to expand over here. This would be much better to have this wide open space. For the meantime, though, I think I'm just going to take my scrapper here and pop it right here. So I'm going to say, hey, take the scrap and make it into other things. And that's what this is for. All right, we have another need for a settler. That's a refinery. So we have somebody that can be tasked to work in the refinery. Now, I don't know how the logistics works in terms of like how smart the AI is. If the refiner has nothing to do or no building to work in, do they act as a regular settler in the meantime? I would hope that's the case, but I don't know that. We can actually have another farmer so we can work more fields. So let's make sure we have the water and food situation sorted out completely. You're going to see me kind of leaving the game on with this overlay a lot because I really do want to know where this stuff is all the time. And then you can see that for... Okay, look at this. This is how cool this is. This little striped area, this is a rain cloud, right? Rain clouds increase the soil irrigation level, but can also change its radiation level depending on how highly the rain is contaminated in the current year. So you can see as this rain is falling, it is actually diluting and sort of wiping away that radiation. So we have none here anymore. No, we still do. Wait, huh? I saw this moving. I think it's just a coincidence. You see, now it's coming back. It's just moving it all over the place. It's nifty. All right. So, oh, you know what? This is moist. Yeah. I had the other overlay on. So this is moist soil. This is dry, right? And then wet. And it's moving because the rainwater is coming in. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's see what else we have here. We wanted to build this, of course. We need to gather some more scrap in order to do that. Unfortunately, the people we have on scrap duty aren't necessarily getting over here and getting on it as quickly as we'd like. We also have some creatures here we could be hunting for food. So why don't we grab a hunter's lodge? We put that hunter's lodge like right... looks like we have some animals out this way to hunt. So we'll put you right here. Okay, now you are currently cutting down trees here. We have cut down and reforest. Or we can just have them cut down, or we have them just straight reforest. I'm going to change the work area. I'm going to have you go just a little bit further this way. And the reason for that is because I would also like to get a gatherer's cabin, and chances are there's lots of things to gather in here. So I'm going to have the gatherer's cabin working from here, and it's going to be gathering all the stuff that's through here, okay? Now, this is a lot of jobs. We don't have a lot of people yet. So we just need our population to get up, and that's what the comfort level of these homes will do. At least that's what I hope. Let's make sure we have the path put in. Kind of speeds up their walking. You don't have enough room for a gatherer, so I don't think I feel comfortable necessarily pulling people off of water duty, but I'm going to pull one off water duty, get them on gatherer and hunter. Water can sneak up on you, and it's terrible when you run out of it. Let's change the field of work to here so we can start building in here. How's my radiation level? Okay, it's starting to recede a little bit. I would like to see it go away entirely here, but it may never go away. I may never be able to farm crops there. So we'll see. So this is almost done. We got 120 out of 189 possible food in that field. And we're just storing everything here for now. If we upgrade the building, I think we get more storage capacity. Right now we have 25%. Upgrading the building will take more wood and scrap than we have currently, though. All right, so we have one person homeless. Our population is growing. We have a person that's homeless. A homeless person will start to lose confidence, and ultimately it's just a bad deal. It's kind of like the same thing as happiness from Surviving the Aftermath. So we're going to take... Now, I could make more homes, and I am going to this one time, but eventually you want to control your population by using settlements instead of houses. And I'll show you what those are in a second. For now, I'm going to use another house. but the shelters, sorry. By using shelters, they're much bigger. They hold 25 people, but they're not comfortable enough for people to have children. So you can control your population growth, because if it gets out of whack, you're gonna be forced to do things faster than you want to. So I'm actually thinking about expanding off into this area too. There's so much stuff over here. Let's get a scrapyard. I'm gonna put the scrapyard maybe over this way. This ought to do it. Let's put it in line with this road. Right about here. If they decide to work in the scrapyard, we can have them scrap all this stuff much faster than just the regular old gatherers will. All right, so we still have one spare colonist. I'm actually going to put you on water carrier duty. Oh, now I don't have anyone to do this. Right. Yeah, exactly. Okay, never mind. So the regular old settlers are the ones that will gather stuff like this. You have to have at least one. Okay, we have nobody working recycling. No, we need scrap, of course. We're out of scrap. It's up here. So I need people to scavenge this stuff so that I can turn it into other stuff. Or I can stop turning it into things if I choose to. Because right now I don't really necessarily need the clothing. I will soon. Turning that stuff into cloth, maybe not the best when we have to build other things out of scrap. So for the time being, we can decide to deactivate production. And now we won't actually do anything. We can also reduce the workforce in here, which will increase the number of settlers that are gathering scrap. Because I also need scrap for this building. We only have 15 available here. Now, I'm going to start running out of food if I grow much more without having some other types of food gathering. Right now, we have a hunter's lodge, which is fantastic because there's actually does in here. There's actually doe in here. You can hear, like, we're doing, like, doe calls to, like, bring them in. That's kind of nifty. And then we just shoot them dead. We just shoot them dead. It says roe venison. I'm pretty sure that might... Is that supposed to say raw venison? Or maybe doe venison? I don't know what roe is. I mean, I'm not familiar with that. It might be a thing and I just don't know it. Let's get the gatherer's cabin up if I can. All right, they've gathered pretty much everything here. So I'm going to change it to come over here now. I want you guys to gather all of this. This frees up a lot of space for me to expand into other things like a tailor shop and a workshop to make things, etc. I want to have another recycler. And I think this recycler is going to go... This is not the most organized layout for sure. Don't criticize my layout. It's not at all what I wanted initially, but we're going to make do. Who likes square things anyway? I'm always putting things staggered, not in line. That's just my style, man. I think it feels way more organic to like leave this little gap between this and not min-max the grid. I love that. I think it adds a lot of character to it. All right, we have two settlers. I'm going to get... If this is done, it's not done yet. We need this done first. We need scrap for this. Scrap for this means I can then have scrap collectors that are dedicated and much more efficient at doing it. So as soon as we get scrapped for this... looks like the road goes like that. And then we could also have another one going like that. And then out that way with other things. We also have warehouses we can build. I haven't yet found a need to do that, but I feel like once things get really far out and you start to expand way out, you'll probably need warehouses. And I think the warehouses, if they're anything like Survive in the Aftermath, they're probably interconnected. All kinds of resources are kept in a warehouse. It's probably one of those things where if you bring it to this warehouse, it can be accessed in a different warehouse somewhere else. At least I hope that's the way it is. If it's not, we're gonna need like vehicles like introduced in this game because this map is huge. Look at this. I want to go over here. I want to scrap all this stuff. There's so much stuff over here. Storage depot ruin. I love the detail. There's so much detail in this stuff. Truck wreck. I'm gonna have a task. I want you to gather scrap Oh, we can't scrap this. Wait. This ruin requires a scrapyard to be salvaged. Okay, so once the scrapyard is done, which should be getting built right now, should be the next thing on the builder's to-do list. We can actually have him, had the people who are over here, we can have them scrap that building and see what's up. All right, let's have the, we'll leave it here for now. I'm gonna assign 2 people to work in this building. You can do that with this button here too, by the way. This shows you the total number of people that are working the job globally, and this one shows you how many people are worked to this particular building. So see, they can gather stuff much more efficiently. It goes into storage and we'll instantly have access to it. At least I think that's how that works. 2 out of 15, 9 out of 15. I think that's how that works. Reserved in stock, 12. 6%. Actually, I'm starting to think they actually have to move it to storage. They're actually carrying it over there. Yeah, it looks like they actually have to take it to the van. All right, that's a little messed up, but all right. I think we can probably afford to go ahead and upgrade the building. But I think I'm going to get another scrapyard too, because having lots of scrap is always a great thing. We're doing pretty good on water. We're doing pretty good on food. So I'm not going to worry about it yet. We could also take a look maybe at some point into getting a medical facility set up. But first, I want to get a school set up. The school teaches kids, if you didn't know. Yeah, I know, it seems obvious. The school is going to teach children. And that means that they'll become more educated, they'll be more efficient, etc., etc. So I'm going to go and put the school... I think I'll put it on this main road, actually. This would have been a good spot for a farm, though. Let's not do that. We'll put a farm there instead, actually. Food, field. We'll put a farm right. We'll save room for another house. No, we'll put it right here. This field will be... let's say beans. No. What's the most efficient? Let's do squash. 2.3 seasons for 594 food. Seems good. We'll have a couple of extra farmers added. 1 extra water carrier. Our population is growing, so we need to make sure we're keeping on water. If we want to know how we're doing there, we can take a look at our... I think it's this. Yeah, produced and consumed. We're producing 765. We're consuming 553. I believe that's how I can read that. But that's only for like a last term or something. Crashed helicopters, big scrap piles. This is awesome. We have 4 people homeless. So let's go ahead and get another house set up. Another couple of houses set up. We'll go here and here. And then we'll do another one maybe off this way. Or this way. We'd have to get rid of the street out there. I don't want to get rid of that street. Let's go this way with it. All right, I'm going to queue up a few houses here. I am going to tell them to pause on those 2. We're going to make these 2. And then we're going to look at making a shelter. Because this is going to allow us to have more people, but not necessarily have more, reproduction of people. Let's put it that way. And I might put this right on the water or near the water. I do think it might be a good idea to have another fishing hut for food production. So I'm going to set up another fishing hut here first. And then I'm going to queue up a shelter. And we'll do it like right... let's do it right here. So this will be our first like shelter for people to live in. But it's not comfortable enough for them to start a family. All right, these 2 houses are going to get built really quickly. We're getting pretty low on tools. We're using up all of our scrap and all of our wood too. So I feel like we need another forester's lodge, or at least more people working that job. But this seems like a good place for it. Forester's lodge is currently there. I think we need more people working the job. I'll go 3 people on that. All right, we have a notification, so I'm going to click that. It says settlers with no protective clothing. We're going to need to start making clothing because without protective clothing, even minor radiation will begin to like mess with them. So I'm going to go and make a tailor shop. In the tailor shop, I think we'll pop that right here. I know, don't you just love the way I build my buildings? Isn't it great? It seems like there's no organization to it at all. Isn't it wonderful? Oh, I know you guys love it. I know you do. Deep, deep, deep down. I know you guys love it. All the way through here. All right, so that'll be where the paths and stuff are. I want this building. No, I want the homeless people taken care of. Already is. The houses are done. At least the 2 initial ones I was building are done. Let's make this dirt road here as well. And then I want more people. That's what I want. I want more people. We'll take 1 off the forestry. I don't want to do that just yet. I'm not sure I want to do that just yet. I want this done. Build a tailor shop now. They're already done bringing things to the fishing huts, so that's why they did that. We have 15 children, and we're about to get a whole lot of adults. All right, here we go. We're about to get a ton of adults. Just bam, bam, bam here in a second. Mark, Samantha, Romaine, Benjamin, Harrison, and Carla. That's like 6 adults. Bam. Which will be very helpful for us. Is the tailor done? That's the well. This is the tailor shop. We don't have wood, scrap, or cloth. Crap. Okay, I want people working in the refinery. Right, turn the refinery back on. And we need cloth. And we're also going to set up another person on refinery. Now, we can have one on cloth and the other doing something else. For example, metal. And then we can use the metal to make better tools. Speaking of tools, I think we should probably queue up the workshop. So let's queue up the workshop, and we'll put this... we'll put this over... Put it right here. That'll be fine. And then make sure the roads are all done here too. All right, we're getting a lot of rain. You see how the rain's coming in? I really like that. What we're gonna want to do, just to like collect it if I can, is I'm gonna go over to rainwater collector. Notice how this takes 24 plastic. So I'm gonna need a lot of plastic for it, but these are really nice when it comes to like collecting water with no manpower required. So I'm gonna just pop this in over like this. And this will be a rainwater collector that we'll have for later. I want to keep most of the water stuff together. There's a reason for that, and I'll show you what that is later. But mostly, well, I don't have to show you later. It has to do with... Is it the tower? I think it is the water tower. Yeah, this is the thing that uses charcoal. So we're going to want probably the water tower to be about here. And it'll use charcoal. You can see the description. It'll use charcoal to help filter out radiation. So eventually we'll start making charcoal, and we can use that to filter water. So we can't use these guys on almost anything. Let's bring you over here. Wait, does this setup? This is going to mess up my hunting. I don't want to do that. Let's have you come on over to here instead. That's better. And then we want one tailor, but we don't have any. We don't have any cloth yet. We need to build up cloth supply and the metal supply, which we need scrap to do. So let's have you guys all go to scrap collectors. Okay, so we're going to go to scrap collector. Now, we have new tasks. Let's open this up. It says wood stored 4 out of 104. If we're able to have 104 wood in storage in 24 minutes, then it will reward us with 50 herbs and 30 scrap. Okay, so if we're interested in trying to do that challenge, I would probably want to have maybe a few. We're actually really good on food. We could take down the number of farmers and maybe add an additional forester. And honestly, I want scrap a lot. So let's do another scrap collector. So currently the Forester's Lodge has 4 people working there. As long as we're not using all that wood, which right now it looks like we may. Nope, all the wood is delivered there. Most of the wood is already delivered here. We can pause the workshop. We're out of tools, though. I don't want to pause the workshop if we're out of tools. I will pause this because we don't have the materials, the plastic, to do that anyway. And we don't have cloth yet, so this isn't a priority. I'm going to go ahead and pause that. We do have 6 homeless, so this is a bigger priority, but we need plastic first. Yeah, we can't really get that. I'm going to have to... Yeah, I'm going to have to start these houses back up. We're getting our population growing too quickly here. Scrappers, come over here and work over here, please. And I need, let's see, I need the recycler here that's working on metal to switch to plastic, I think. And let's have you, you're working on cloth, which is going to be important for clothing. I'll let you keep doing that. I need to get the homeless situation taken care of. The no tools, that will get done with this guy. The workshop, that gets done with this. Oh my gosh. So the game is going to start getting tense because once you start getting your population raising really fast, that's when things start to... Yeah, that's when things start to get more intense. It looks like we have 36 out of 104. Only 13 minutes left, though. I'm not sure I can gather and store this much wood. But currently, we don't really need to build anything with more wood, so we should be purely storing at this point because we're not building anything. So I should see this number come up fairly quickly. At least I would hope so. Looks like we have homeless people, yep, tools, and protective clothing. I'm aware of all those things. We are going to solve all of those things in the next video. Guys, thank you very much for joining me for Endzone. This is a world apart. If you want to know more about the game, you can check the link in the description down below. Also, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, all that stuff. Throw me comments, share the series. Do what you can to help the video out, to help the channel out, especially the first video of a new series. It's hard to get traction on YouTube today, so your help is much appreciated. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.